This is Ukradowski of WeAreChange.org here at Anarchapulco, a place with very interesting people, two of which that I am standing with right now, and that is Chad and Nadia Alonowski, individuals that are facing the death penalty with criminal charges in Thailand because of the horrible crime of, can you guess? Seasteading, a non-violent crime with no victims. We're going to get into their story that absolutely plays out like a movie. There's media manipulation. There's, of course, just an escape story that you guys barely made it out of there. Holy cow, this is going to be an interesting video. Stay tuned. Grip onto your seats because this is definitely going to be an interesting one. Now, Chad and Nadia, first of all, you guys are in Thailand. You guys are into seasteading. People don't know seasteading. Tell us what you were up to, what you were doing to now be facing charges that will essentially get you the death penalty or life.
Well, seasteading is the concept of basically, all the land in the world is covered by governments. So the only way to get away from that is go out into the ocean. So that's what we did.
So you guys decided hey, we're going to build a little island, or what were the exact details of it? And when did the authorities come in?
Right. Well, we didn't even do anything huge like an island. We did a small houseboat. Well, it was new technology like the oil platforms. We were sitting on top of a spar in a little 6-meter wide home. So we were living in that, and we started promoting, once we proved the concept, it's like, okay, we can live on the ocean. So we started saying, come on down to Thailand, and we're going to start growing these things and building more. And that's when Thailand kind of took issue with it. They thought we were going to build a new nation in their nation, which we never said. We're anarchists. Why would we build a nation? So they thought we were building a nation. So they, akin to treason, they charge us with. Well, they never charged us because they never got any evidence. So they have a case open against us, trying to charge us with treason, basically a threat to national sovereignty.
Treason is a very serious charge in Thailand. Could you tell us what happens when someone's charged with treason in Thailand?
Sorry, what?
You either get life in prison or the death penalty, which...
Oh.
Yeah. So what happened? The government made contact with you guys, or can you the government? What did the government exactly do, and what was your plan after that?
We don't see any government contact us, or they just go out there and have a boat and with the big gun. We lucky that we are not at the house. We are on land. I'm get prepared to pay our Songkran festival with my son, my family, and then we just saw the news and they come after us, and I know exactly what's gonna happen, what they're going to do, because I see one path they try to put in that attract international. I'm like,
threat to national sovereignty or security was in the article. So their way of law enforcement is they'll announce it on the news before they'll go and arrest you, which was convenient for us.
Yeah, that's very convenient. Didn't really work out for them, since you guys also made an escape plan. Can you guys tell us the escape plan and exactly, it must be terrifying, seeing your name in the news, seeing that they're going to come after you, and now understanding, okay, what did we do next? What did you guys do next?
We immediately walked down, trekked through the mud in the middle of the night, got out to our boat, and we got on the boat and sailed out of Thailand as soon as possible. And we made our way to Malaysia, which when we got to Malaysia border, we were planning on, okay, let's go to Kuala Lumpur, let's fly back to America and be all safe, everything's fine. But we got to Malaysia and they said, okay, well, check your passports, where's your exit stamp from Thailand? And that's when things went horribly wrong.
Yes. Yeah, there's also a lot to learn, especially with immigration law, since you guys are still, I don't know if you guys can get into some of those issues, but you're on the road and things weren't that easy on the road.
No, definitely not. We weren't allowed back in Malaysia. They told us, go back. But we
to Thailand and face the death penalty.
Yeah, we told them if we go back, they'll kill us, and they're like...
The guy just say just like exactly in the movie, really? You can't believe that happened. Yeah. We just tell them what really happened in Thailand and we need help.
Yeah, just for seasteading. I mean, it's just crazy.
Right.
And then there was a very difficult part. I remember you were talking about it a little bit last night, where there was a storm, there was food, what happened there?
Yeah, I mean, there was thunderstorms every night. We ran out of food because we didn't have enough money to do anything. Fortunately, the internet, we did have money because of, thank you to Bit Refill. We had Bitcoin on my phone, so I was able to fill up on the internet. So we had internet, but ran out of food and gas. So
Wow.
we had to sail almost all the way, pretty much the whole way down to Singapore. We couldn't go into Malaysia because we didn't have any passports. So
The exit stamp.
yeah, had no exit stamp.
Yeah, no exit stamps. So you guys finally make it to Singapore. How long was the journey in total? And what was the next step after Singapore?
It was 10 days total, so it was slow sailing the whole way. Singapore was crazy. They had 3 police boats come out and meet us. They'd heard the story, so they had 3 police boats kind of meet us, and they boarded us, and they were checking the whole boat and making sure we weren't this big threat that Thailand, the media was just portraying us as this evil people. They came on board, saw that it was a loving couple, and we told them we're on our honeymoon, and they're like, okay. So I mean, this whole time two jet fighters were circling above us, doing the, turning to the side, looking down at us, in case we were this huge threat that would need jets to take us out on our sailboat. But fortunately, they let us in after seeing we're, what we are is not a threat. And when we were in Singapore, we got out of there as soon as possible because we didn't want anything to happen in Singapore that would bring trouble for them or for us. So we immediately got on a plane and flew off to Panama.
Yeah, I mean, there's some countries that have extradition treaties. Can you explain how that works? And you explain the also legal process and complications when it comes to even returning to the United States?
Right. Fortunately, we did have internet, so we were able to research all of the stuff. There's 12 countries that have extradition to Thailand. One of them was Malaysia. One is actually the U.S., so we were worried actually about leaving to the U.S. But that's not really possible because Nadia can't get a visa to the U.S. for a long time. So
Even though you're married?
right, it would be a long process to get that visa. So we'll work on that eventually. But for now, we're safe in Panama. Panama's great. They allow you in for 6 months without a visa, and then we got residency. So we're just enjoying it there and rebuilding in Panama because we want to show Thailand what they missed out on and show the world what can be done.
Nice. And then, of course, cryptocurrencies were also a big part of this, which is very interesting and very fascinating. You guys are probably into some of the kind of freedom-oriented people and just living off-grid. I mean, that's becoming more and more popular, especially with the destruction of our society. But this is what the interesting part is. After, escaping, you had favorable media coverage, but then the media kind of also changed on you because of those ideas that we were just talking about. Give us the short and sweet of that.
Yeah. Initially, I mean, the Thai media was just a hand of the government, so they were attacking us completely. The international media, fortunately, they supported us because the story of a young couple on the run, they at least could sympathize with us, so they reported accurately until we were safe. And then it's like, okay, let's attack this whole seasteading concept and make these people look like idiots for doing something so crazy as trying to be free. So.
And they're launching articles saying that you're trying to start a nation. Can you give us some, what news organizations, what are they saying? What are the bigger effects of just the fake news that the mainstream media is promoting that is actually having a negative effect, that is not being censored by, of course, the big technocrats that are in bed with them? I could keep going on, but let's just get another good example here of the media manipulating, important information, fake news because of laziness and getting people in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, we did an interview with Financial Times, which we figured would support us because we contacted them, had great conversation with them, and then they basically said I claimed that there were no laws where we were, which I never said that because there are obviously maritime laws. There's plenty of laws even in the ocean, but I said no territorial laws, which doesn't sound as sexy in a news article. So they're like, oh yeah, he said there's no laws. So they had to retract that because everything it all goes back to, will we ever be able to go back to Thailand? And if the media is basically creating these statements that we said, then Thailand could just look back at that. Bloomberg basically came out. They weren't even doing a hit piece on us. We got some high side action hit piece, and they're like, oh, this young couple said they were building a new nation in Thailand, and it's like, no, I never said I want a new nation. So all these little subtle things that they do to get the story sound more sexy, it could harm us legally if it gets referenced by any sort of legal system.
Yep, and then of course, they're not held responsible for potentially putting your lives at risk if you do want to return to Thailand. And kind of the last question I wanted to ask you, if it wasn't for the government charging you with, the charges, what would you guys be doing? What would your life be in Thailand? And if you can, try to expand a little bit on the concept of seasteading, which some people may not understand.
Right. The whole plan in Thailand actually was to prove to Thailand itself that we had a successful project, that we were going to be bringing money and economic activity, new frontier to the country. So I mean, just building a floating house, that doesn't prove anything. So we had to show them. So we were going to take orders for 20 more houses and build those and get it all built up and kind of have a community out there. The idea of seasteading is, if you don't like your community, you can just float with your house and move away. So if some jerk is in charge and you don't like him, it's like, okay, he'll wake up in the next morning after he's done something horrible and come to find out he's the only guy in his community anymore, because everybody's left. So that was our plan, to build it up. A lot of it was tourism based, because I mean, we're out there in the beautiful ocean of Panama, so it was like, let's do scuba diving, let's do underwater restaurants. We had actually an order from a guy who wanted to build a underwater restaurant, so we were all ready to go.
It's like van lifing, but of course with just yachts and boats and other stuff. Very interesting concepts. Anything else you guys want to say? Anything else you guys want to clear up with all the fake news, mainstream media out there that's being promoted by YouTube?
I think from now on, we're just building in Panama, and we have full support of the Panama government, and we're focused on tourism, focused on a new frontier, new industry. So we're building this in Panama. I think it's going to be really successful. We're moving forward full steam ahead.
Awesome. Anything else you'd like to say?
Yeah, we follow all the law and try to make it work. But whatever I want to say about Thai nail. You guys have never even one that can contact me, and you put the word in my mouth that I say that I'm trying to beg the government pay me back 5 million Thai baht. When did I did that? It's just stop throwing people and destroy people's lives. Get through.
Yeah, a lot of fake news, a lot of lies, especially when you deal with, high central authority figures with no accountability against them, that view you, a sovereign individual who wants to, not have a corporate slave job, not have a 9-to-5, not be, indebted to a big banking industry, not be enslaved, or you just want to be free on a boat. There could be consequences behind that. You guys went through a crazy story. Thank you so much for sharing it with us. I'm happy you guys are free and safe out there in Panama. The links to these wonderful people, to Seasteading, to what they're doing, will be in the description below. Don't forget to check it out. And once again, thank you, all you amazing human beings, for being a part of independent media. We would not be here if it wasn't for you guys watching and sharing these videos. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.